life. Beat depression. It's day 728, and I feel great. And today, we're going to keep it that way with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you guys so much for being here. Everybody who's tuning in now, anyone who's tuning in later. As you know, we start each and every show with gratitude. Today, I am grateful to be COVID-free. That's right. The only thing contagious about this sack man are good vibes. So come out and catch them tonight, because I am also grateful for the greatest party happening at the center of the universe, also known as Same Same But Different, out there in New York City. If you'd like to find out more, check out not the link in the description, but we'll put it up in the stories. That way you guys can find it if you're interested. And if you come out and mention Sack Life, I will share my free bottle of sanitizer with you for your hands. I'll also be taking extra steps to stay safe out there, but I have been locked away in this cage for too long, and it is time to rage. So I will be back out tonight, back on the party scene, because I love to party. So those are the things I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful to be COVID-free and healthy. I'm still dealing with a little fatigue, early fatigue from that recovery period, but I just took another test, tested negative, free and clear, so super grateful about that. Grateful for the opportunity to hang with good friends and good people at a warm, loving environment at Same Same But Different. Always a magical time. So many cool things happening over there, so if you get a chance, check it out. It really is, even though it happens every couple of months, sometimes, depending on the world situation, does really feel like a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I can't recommend it enough, honestly. That being said, those are all my pieces of gratitude. Go ahead and think about your pieces of gratitude today. That'll help put you in that positive mindset as we move into the lesson. And second mental health tool, shout out to Lisa the Luminary, thank you for being here. Second mental health tool we're going to talk about is progress tracking tool, keeping track of that number, the number of days you show up for yourself and fight forwards. Whether it's this routine, this schedule, this program, or if it's heavy bag time, that's not the right way to say it. If it's personal time with the heavy bag, that's better. Or personal time with Bob, quality time with Bob, or quality time on the speed bag, or quality time in a martial arts studio training in a martial arts class. Any of those things will count because they build you up physically and mentally. They show you how to value your time, use your time to benefit yourself both physically and mentally. They build you up, build more mental resiliency, and they give you that somatic release, right? That physical release of things that sometimes we can't get out through talk therapy or through medication. So make sure you are keeping track of that goal that you are accomplishing every day when you crush it in the face of any opposition. And the more you keep track of it, the more powerful that number will be. It's been 728 days for myself, and I believe it's been 428 days for Lisa the Luminary. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Let me know. Yes, it is 428 days, and she said 428 days for me, and I've learned so much, and I'm really happy that you have, and most of that's coming from you. It's about what we can learn about ourselves, right? I'm sure you can relate. You can learn how to value your time, how to build yourself up, how powerful you are, and really how to give yourself credit for the strength and endurance that you show every day when you crush that goal and you keep track of that number. So I hope that continues to have that same positive effect in your life. This number just helped me get through COVID with a positive mindset, with positive attitude, and know that nothing is going to stop me, and I've become unstoppable out here. And I hope the same thing for you, Lisa. And glad to have you here with us, helping, not just helping yourself, but also being public about it and talking about that number. Sharing that progress is a great way to inspire others and to break the stigma that is preventing us from getting the help that we need. There are so many people out here that feel like they're alone because we're just not talking about it. And then when we do talk about it, they feel like it's hopeless, like they're stuck in a victim mindset. And by sharing that progress, by sharing your number, and by sharing your experience with others, you're able to show them that there are ways forwards, especially from fellow survivors or fellow fighters out here. So thank you so much for that. That being said, let's talk about today's lesson. We're going to keep it nice, concise, and tight so I can hit the road and make it to that show on time. If you're in the New York area, Lisa, I invite you to come out to Same Same. It's a magical experience. If not, it's all good. I'm sure there will be another one at some point. But that being said, let's get on track. We're going to visualize that opponent, right? Visualize that dummy. If you got a heavy bag at home, you can use that heavy bag. If you got a Bob, you can use Bob. That's what he's made for, to take abuse. And if you don't have any of that stuff, it's totally fine. You can still visualize that opponent for accuracy. And today we're going to be talking about sharp, striking knees of justice, damaging that depression dummy in front of us, knocking those lies out of them, making us stronger as we make that depression dummy weaker. So we're going to talk about a couple different knees. The long knee, that's our longest range knee attack. We're going to talk about that long knee, tossing it and then bringing it back, and also tossing it and stepping into it, bump, bump, tossing us over into southpaw position, making it an advancing knee strike. We're also going to talk about the straight knee, boom, straight knee to the solar plexus, and we're going to talk about the clinch knee, boost up to the head, or the clinch knee into the guts. Either way, it's a matter of preference. We'll talk about the differences in those knee strikes. We'll fire them off from southpaw and orthodox position. Shout out to Pete Terre, thank you for being here as well. We are working from Muay Thai stance, so if you need prep on that stance, check it out on our free martial arts for mental health class section at the bottom of the SacLiveOfficial.com page. We have a stance guide there for everybody to have them fully prepared. We'll have those tunes coming through. We're going to have our standard rounds, three rounds, 3 minutes each, 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath, drink some water, make sure you're staying super hydrated out there. And we'll break down those knee strikes as we go. As I mentioned before, I'm still dealing with some fatigue left over from that recovery period. Shout out to Mira Waite. Thank you so much for being here, Mira. You brighten up my life. Every time I see your videos, put a smile on my face. So thank you for putting out that positive energy. So as I was saying, I'm still recovering a little bit from the after effects of dealing with COVID. So I do have early fatigue. I get fatigued pretty quickly. So I'm going to moderate that intensity down. Peter said, I want to see some good knees. We're going to see some good knees, and hopefully you're going to show yourself some good knees today. And it's all about moving forwards, right? It's all about making progress. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect practice. I think that's the right way to say it. So the more you do it, the more confident you'll be, the more comfortable you'll be, the more body awareness we get, the more we practice, the better our form can become. So let's talk about the knee strike and the 3 different knee strikes that we're going to talk about here. We've got the long knee, and we're going to do something similar with our hips that we do during a push kick. When we do that push kick, we drive through the hips, we let the shoulders go back, right? We let the hips go forwards. We're going to do the same thing with the knee strike today. Shout out to Y&I Music. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your support from day one. You are amazing individuals. I can't wait to see you. I hope you're at Same tonight. I'm free. I'm no longer contagious, and I will be there. I hope to see you there. And shout out to Claire, 5 years old, fighting forward through chemo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an inspiration and showing up for you as well. So let's talk about that long knee first. With the long knee, when we're in there, we're visualizing our opponent. We're going to send that knee into the guts. And as I mentioned before, we're going to kind of do a similar thing with the hips that we do with the push kick. With push kick, we drive through that hip. We let the hips go forwards and the shoulders go backwards. Same thing with the long knee. Our longest knee strike, we're going to bring that knee up and drive through the hip, driving those hips forwards, boom, and letting the shoulders go backwards. Keep the chin tucked for extra balance in our stance, nice and square. And show you here on Bob, that long knee strike, whoosh, boom. We're driving through those hips. We're chopping the arm on the same side, and we're driving through those hips, driving those hips forwards, and swinging it right back. Now that's our standard long knee. Whoosh, boom, long knee strike there. Driving those hips forwards, shoulders go backwards. The second way we're going to modify that long knee is by using it to step right in to southpaw position. So that's going to let us make it an advancing technique. Instead of firing that knee and then coming back to stance, we're going to fire that knee and kind of let it carry us forwards right in as we step right into a southpaw position. We can continue attack from there. So if you've got that visualized opponent in front of you, you're aiming for the solar plexus, center mass, drive that knee through, step into it, boom, 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 and you're in southpaw stance. You can continue that attack. If you just want to toss them, send all that force forwards, you can really put a lot of energy in there. You can really toss, Bob. Boom. It's just like a push kick, but we're using the knee. And let me check in on comments. Sorry, English is not totally perfect, but today I was training with my boys how to escape from middle kick grab. I have a couple of interesting ways. Cool. Feel free to share those in the comments. Shoot me a DM. And if you ever want to collab on anything that can help people, empower them with more tools, or we talk about martial arts or mental health, let me know. I'd be more than happy to work together. And Claire said she's doing it sitting down, and that's totally fine, Claire. We got to go at our pace. We got to challenge ourselves to our skill level. So if you are in a circumstance where you feel like you got to sit, there's a whole class on adaptive boxing. There's an Instagram account. There's a woman out there named Louisa Fay, and she does adaptive boxing. That's boxing for people in wheelchairs. So it's literally waist up. You could do all of those sessions from a seated position. And Claire, if you want to follow along with us and get some intensity training in there from a seated position, you can toss those hands. We're still going to use those hands. Always practice those fundamentals in between. And she said, yaha, woohoo. And she said, it's been a long time since she's done chemo. And that's great news, Claire. I'm happy to hear about your recovery, about your moving forwards. And I hope you're staying super strong out there. You're an inspiration to others. That being said, let's get back on track with the long knee, right? So in our squared balanced position, we drive that knee forwards, chopping the hand down on the same side of the knee that's firing. We're bringing the heel up close as we can to the booty, keeping the foot pointed, right, nice and sharp. That's going to make it sharp, and we're going to drive through the hips, send those hips forwards, chin tuck for balance, chop the arm on the same side, exhale nice and tight, nice and hard. Shout out to DJ Sean Fitz, thanks for being here. That's our long knee. Second knee strike we're going to talk about is that straight knee, and the straight knee without the clinch. What we're going to do here is think about hinging on that hip. So we're going to step forward into it, and we're going to hinge through that hip, taking that rear foot and swinging it. Whoosh, swing it up, nice and straight. Whoosh, up into center mass. And again, chopping the arm on the same side, nice and clean. Swing in, swing out. Swing in, swing out. And we're sending that knee straight forward toward the solar plexus and back out. Something that helps people get this knee strike nice and tight, nice and practical, is to reach across the face, almost like you're throwing a cross. Open hand, reach across the face of your opponent, kind of blinding that view as well, and then chopping it down. Boom, as you send that knee forward. So guard up, nice and square, reach across the face, chop and hinge. Remember, it's a swinging knee kick. Whoosh, we're swinging the arm down. Whoosh, we're swinging the knee forwards. Keeping the guard high on the same side. Now from there, very similar to that straight knee kick, we're going to do a clinch knee kick. So we're going to reach one hand around the head of that dummy, other hand's going to reinforce. We're going to pull the head down, and we're going to do the same thing, hinge through the hip and drive through that hip, boom, swinging that knee forwards. A lot of hip activation here and a lot of pull. We're going to use the arms now, generate more leverage, generate more power. And really most of that power is going to come from the hip. So when we step in, we're going to step in with a clinch, boom, around that visualized target. We're going to pull the head down towards us, right? And drive the knee forwards. Driving that knee into center mass and really pulling them in whoosh, as we push forwards through the hips. Almost like that push kick, pushing through the hips, using those hips in there to drive that knee in to center mass. And if you don't have a dummy at home, you can use your hands for a little bit of resistance. So step in, simulating the clinch, right? Reinforce with the opposite hand. Drive that head down and drive the knee up and in. Boom, making contact with those hands. That's the clinch knee. And the final knee we're going to talk about, maybe we'll run out of time. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But the final knee we're going to talk about is the angled knee. And it's one of my favorites. I really enjoy letting those knees fly on Bob, especially having some resistance there. Shadow boxing is fun too, but there's nothing like the release you get from actually making contact with a solid object. So for the angled knee, what we want to do is open up those hips, angle the feet out a little bit, step off the line, almost like you're going to toss a roundhouse kick, but this time we're going to bring the ankle and the knee up on one plane. So we're going to try and bring them up together as we shift the body weight over to the front foot, and then we're going to torque the top half of our body towards that foot and the bottom half of the body opposing that force. So we want to make like a clamping force between the top half of our torso and the bottom half, boom, of our body. And that's going to bring that knee around nice and fast and give us some counterweight, boom, so that we can stay nice and balanced. So guard high, squared up, we're stepping off the line. We can reach across again, but this time we're going to chop on an angle, chopping the arm on an angle, knee and ankle come up together, boom, and they come across and go back to stance, nice and square. Angled knee, boom, and back to stance. The target for that angled knee is going to be in the ribs, into the rib cage. Boom, do some damage, and just toss it in there. And you can see you can generate a lot of force even in a very small amount of space when we get those techniques right, when we get that sweet science in there. All right, so that's all of our knee strikes. I know it's a lot. We're going to roll through them as smoothly as possible during these next 3 rounds. 3 minutes each, 1 minute breaks to catch your breath. Drink some water. Remember, push at your pace. Give yourself a challenge. Don't compete with me. Don't compete with others. We're here to compete with ourselves. That's how we can see growth. And shout out to Slayer Ken. Thank you for being here. Pete here, thank you. DJ Sean Fitz. Left leg is strongest. Nice. Got Muay Thai sparring tomorrow. Sweet. So this will be a good prep for you. Get that motivation, get that energy going. Get pumped up, get ready for it. Sharpen those skills so you can use them when you get in there and battle. And Slayer Ken shared his progress, 335 days. Thank you so much for staying consistent. And speaking about it so you can help empower others. All right, let's get this thing going. Tunes on. Bam, visualize that target. Pop in a Muay Thai stance. We got the daily beat going. And we're going to do this thing. Square up, squared hips, squared shoulders with that target. Guard high by the brow line. Remember, roll those fists. Shift that weight from the front foot to the back foot. Step in for the 1-2. Claire, you can do this sitting down. Keep the guard high. 1-2. And back. Keep it square. Remember to rotate. Pop, pop on the ball of each foot. Chin tucked, head on the center line. Send them right down the pipe. Tuck that chin into the shoulder on the toss for added defense. Guard stays high on the opposing hand and keep that body weight moving. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Turn those fists over. Twist through that body and let that sweet science work for you. Boom, boom. Let's go. Fight forwards. 2 to the head. 2 to the head. Keep it going. And back to stance. We're going to start our first knee strike here. It's our longest range knee attack. We're going to send that knee from the back straight forwards. The way we're going to do it, very small step in and pivot through the hip. Drive that knee forwards and come right back. Chin tuck, let the shoulders move back as the hips move forwards. One more time, long knee. Boom, and back to stance. Guard nice and high. Show you what it looks like from the side. Remember, keep the weight on the balls of the feet so you can pivot nice and easy. Hit them with the 1-2. Right down the pipe. Long knee strike. Boom, and back. Back to stance. Keep it nice and tight, nice and square. Remember, bring that ankle up close to the booty and keep it moving. Long knee. And back. Long knee. And back. Drive through those hips. Remember, bring the knee up. Swing through that hip and drive that hip forwards and rotate back. Keep the hips open and mobile. Guard high by the brow line. Hit them with the 1-2. 1-2. And long knee strike. Boom. Back to stance. Keep it square. Remember, keep it balanced. Keep it nice and tight. Square up those hips and shoulders after each combo, after each strike. 1-2 to the head. Pop, pop. Keep the guard high and chop that arm on the same side as the knee. Long knee. Boom, back. That hand is going to act as a counterweight to keep us on balance. Square up with that target. 1-2 to the head. Keep it square. Remember to chop the arm. Send that long knee forward. Do it. Boom, back to stance. Chop that arm. One more time. Back to stance. Boom, long knee and back. Straight through. Sending that knee straight forwards. Let the shoulders go back, but keep the chin tucked for balance. Boom, back there. Keeping the chin tucked. Keep that balance nice and tight. Keep it moving. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. And long knee strike. Back to stance. Long knee strike. Back to stance. Long knee. Woo! Back to stance. Guard high. Keep it tight. One more. And back in. This is the end of round 1. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Look at the shoulders. Shoulders up equals guard. That's right. Yes. Thank you for the tips and pointers. Keep those shoulders rolled up high to keep that guard high, giving you extra defense even during striking. Also, you can tuck that chin into the shoulder when you're tossing those strikes, adding even more defense here. Less of a target area for your opponent to hit. We got 31 seconds before we pop back into it. We're going to start adding in a clinch knee, that straight knee, pivoting through the hip, swinging through the hip. And for this one, we don't need the shoulders to go back because it's a shorter range attack. Boom, we're just swinging it through. Boom, swinging it through, generating as much speed as possible. Remember, speed equals power. I definitely don't fight like this. Oh. He said, if I do tomorrow, I'm gonna do good. Nice, good. Glad to hear, motivating out there. All right, we're getting back into it. Square up with that target. Visualize that opponent. Remember to visualize those attack points so you can improve accuracy. Tuck that chin. Guard high by the brow line. Keep it tight. Keep it close. Start with a 1-2. Down the pipe. Roll those shoulders for added defense. And tuck the chin into it on those strikes. Turn the body. Head on the center line. Now, head on the center line is preference here. If you want to make it evasive, you can open up the space in the shoulder and get the head off the center line when you're throwing those strikes. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and square up. Keep it tight. Roll the shoulders nice and tight. Tuck the chin in. 1-2, down the pipe. 1-2, down the pipe. 1-2. One more time. And let's get them with that straight knee strike. We're going to reach across the face here, chopping that arm down. Hinge at the hip and let that knee swing up. Nice and tight. And back to stance. Square up. Straight knee. Back to stance and square up. Remember, you don't have to let the shoulders go back on this one. You can keep that curl. Keep the shoulders rolled, hips curl forwards. Jab cross. Jab cross. Right from the cross, we're going to go right into the straight knee strike. So step for the jab, rotate for the cross, and straight knee. Here, back to stance. Square up. Jab cross. Straight into the knee. Boom, back to stance. Make it a 3-hit combo. 1, 2, 3. Back to stance. 1, 2, 3. Back to stance. Hinge through that hip. Chop that arm for counterbalance. And keep it rolling. Keep it flowing. 1, 2. From here, chop that hand down. Drive that knee up. And back to stance. Keep it square. Keep it balanced. Head center line. Hit him with the 1-2. 1-2 and chop for the knee. Back to stance. 1-2 and chop for the knee. Back to stance. 1-2 and chop for the knee. Back to stance. Keep it square. Keep it focused. 1-2. Ba, ba. From here, chop that hand. Hinge and let the knee come up. Getting that ankle close to the booty. Back to stance. 1-2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And chop for that knee strike right down the center line. I'll show you on Bob. Step in for the 1-2. Pop, pop. Chop for the knee strike. Boom, right into that center mass. Guard high. 1-2 to the head. Chop for the knee. And back to stance. Keep it square. Keep that target in mind. And keep it rolling. Let's go. 1-2. Straight knee. Back to stance. 1-2. Straight knee. Back to stance. And that's the end of round 2. Catch your breath, drink some water. Shout out to Dania for being here, and Cutlera, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. We got one more round left. We're going to talk about that angled knee and the clinch knee. We'll squeeze them both into this final. 44 seconds left. Catch your breath, drink some water. Make sure you're checking in on you and not pushing too hard. If we take it too easy, we fall into boredom. If we push too hard, we roll into more anxiety. So we want to find that flow zone in between where it's an increase, where we can increase that challenge as our skill level goes up, and that way we can see continued growth and continued progress and never need a passive day off. We get to take active recovery days, and that way we never have to stop training. We got 9 seconds. We're gonna pop back into it and break down the angled knee and the clinch knee this time. Still drilling some fundamentals in there. Feel free to switch through southpaw, orthodox stance. Get that movement in there going as well, depending on your skill level. Remember, make it your own. All right, square up. Let's hit him with the 1-2. If you like to work that lateral movement, work it in there. 1-2, step. 1-2, step. 1-2, step. Back to stance. Square up. We're going to talk about the angled knee here. So this angled knee is a close range attack. We want to be in close striking distance, right? We can touch them with the jab. That means the angled knee is going to connect. So let's step in for a jab, pop. We're touching the head on the jab from here. We're going to reach across the head, and we're going to chop this arm on an angle, a diagonal angle for a diagonal knee. Boom. As that arm goes out, we're turning the torso into the knee strike, and we're letting the hips rotate, boom, in the opposite direction. Bringing that ankle and the knee up on the same plane, torque them in, boom, and back to stance. Square up, visualize that opponent. 1, 2 to the head, 1, 2 to the head. Step in for angled knee, boom, there it is. Keep the guard high on the lead hand, while the opposite hand acts as a counterweight, boom. Bringing it around in the opposite direction of that knee strike. 1, 2, 1, 2, guard high, 1, 2, keep it tight and work that angled knee. Let's go. Open up those hips, then stepping slightly off the line, and bring that ankle and knee up on one plane, right? And torque them in. Boom, torque them into those ribs. Guard high on the lead side, keep that chin tucked, shoulders rolled. 1, 2, down the pipe, 1, 2, down the pipe, angled knee. Boom, there it is. Chin tucked and head on that center line will increase that balance. 1, 2, to the head, 1, 2, to the head, angled knee. Boom, there it is. Guard high, 1, 2, to the head, 1, 2, to the head. See if you can flow right into that angled knee after the 2. Make it a 3-hit combo. 1, 2, angled knee, back to stance. 1, 2, angled knee, back to stance. Remember, keep the knees bent. Put some spring in it. 1, 2, angled knee. 1, 2, angled knee, back to stance. Let's get that clinch knee in. Step in for a clinch. Drive the head down. Pull the head down as you swing through the hip and bring the knee up. Make contact with those hands to simulate a target. And back to stance. 1, 2 to the head. Step in for the clinch. Behind the neck. Reinforce. Drive the head down. Drive the knee up. Swinging through the hip. Open up that hip and slide that rear foot back to generate more power. Drive it through and back. Pull that head down. Keep it going. Let's drill these clinch knees. Boost 1, boost 2, boost 3, boost 4, boost 5, boost 6, boost 7. And that is the end of round 3. I hope that you challenge yourself to your skill level. I hope you found room to grow and things that you can improve. Remember, it's all about making that progress, showing up for that process. Every day you show up and you take a step forwards, you have been successful. That is success. There's no limit to how much progress we can make, which means there's no limit to how much we can improve and how much success we can enjoy. So, please do keep track of your progress. Keep track of the days that you show up for you, because it will only add up into more and more proof of your resiliency out here against anything that is trying to stop you or slow you down. Let's check in on those comments real quick before I get out of here. And we got Good Knee coming in from PTR. Thank you so much. T-Chain is the name in Thailand. Thank you, Named. Thank you for being here. Oh, Cow Chain. Sorry, Cow. K-A-O-K-O. Cow Chain. I hope I'm saying that right. Well, that is the end of today's session. Hope that you did get in that challenge you're looking for. And remember, this is just our daily goal accomplishment. This doesn't have to be where it ends. If you didn't get that high intensity training you were looking for today to challenge you to your skill level, give yourself a bonus round. Get in there with Bob, get in there with the heavy bag, or continue that shadow boxing. Keep it going so that you give yourself a challenge. It's about that challenge. And until next time, I'll catch you guys same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.